Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mike from the Hardcover Comic. It's a Wednesday, which means it's new comic book day for a lot of folks. For those of you that do collect single issues, today's the day they come out. So I don't, I don't get to buy too many books every month, but every other week I think there's enough for me to do a video. Of course, I also don't want to make it too boring because I don't get a chance to keep up with all the series I read. A lot of them are, things I'll binge after about 10 issues or so, and in excitement for someday binding them. I obviously do try to read them like I said, in binges, just so I know if it's worth it for me to keep going with the series or not. Um, bear in mind, I haven't read all these new issues yet. I'm sure I will soon, and if it's a book on my pull list that's been on my pull list and it's in the double digits, it's pretty much a series that would take a lot for me to. It would really have to decrease in quality in order for me to stop reading it. But anyway, first up, House of Whispers, still going strong with the same creative team. Nalo Hopkins, Dan Waters, Domenico Domo Stanton. They've been going since issue one pretty much. I think Dan Waters jumped on a little later. Um, but I'm not entirely sure what's happening in this series right now. From what I remember, they were sort of bouncing around between stories that people were telling and how that was affecting the house and all that. So I'm interested to see where this goes. The artwork has been consistent throughout. A little mystery, a little horror, and a little suspense as well. Pretty fun series overall with some great covers. Speaking of great covers, man, Lucifer has had some of the best covers that I've seen on the shelves, and just in general, again, Dan Waters, Max Fiumara, they've been the creative team on the title for a very long time since it's pretty much started. So it's great to see that they're still keeping up a very gory series with a lot of twisting plot lines. It's very interesting. It's very different from what I was expecting with the Lucifer story. And it's been strong. Dan Waters has a weird mind, and his brain goes to weird places, and it's been really evident in this series. Really exciting. Looking forward to it. I'm a huge fan of the Sandman universe stuff that DC's been putting out. I'm pretty much buying all of it on a monthly basis. So it's a lot of fun, and it's great seeing a consistent creative team. Speaking of which, another one considering for the most part, if you haven't read much Valiant, every 4 issues they would have creative team switch with each story arc. But it looks like for this Bloodshot run, they've been going strong with Team Seeley and Brett Booth. They didn't have to switch artists here. This is a series I'm not 100% keeping up with right now. I read up to issue 3, I believe, which was the first story arc, and I haven't read much of this arc, the long shot, which this is the second issue of. It looks exciting. Brett Booth is great for Bloodshot. His artwork is um, obviously very dynamic, very exciting, and it definitely suits what's happening with Bloodshot. Next up, we got Rye. Great cover here. I always forget who the cover artists are. Of course, Valiant always has like 3 or 4 different cover options. The Bloodshot one was Declan Shalvey. But what's great is issue 3, so not too far in, we still got Dan Abnett writing, Juan Jose Rip doing the artwork. This has been a really fun series. Essentially, what's happening is after Fallen World, Rai and Rai Jin are hunting down the other siblings, the other children of Father, and so they're basically trying to stop Father from New Japan from recreating what was and being able to keep pushing his agenda further. Juan Jose Rip's artwork is insanely detailed as always, incredible to look at, and the plot has been great. Really taking advantage of the whole AI sentient stuff, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I'm excited to see where Rai goes, and how things pan out with Rai Jin. Psylor is one of the other series from Valiant, also pretty consistent with the creative team, Fred Van Lente and Renato Guidas. Just trying to get it to focus a little here, but it's fighting me. Um, Essentially, if you don't know what Psylords is about, is you have this group of 4 people who met in a prison, and and they were told that they have these abilities and they have these powers given to them by the Psi Lords, and they're sort of trying to piece together who they are, where they came from, what happened to put them in the position that they're in. Renato Guidas does all the artwork, and he's got sort of this painted style, sort of a 3D animation looking kind of thing. Not bad. I'm enjoying the series so far. The characterization can be a bit weird so far, but thankfully I have no bias since these are new characters. And Fred Van Lente does a pretty. He writes some pretty good stuff, I must say. His stories are usually quite exciting. But last but not least, well, second to last, is Undiscovered Country by Scott Snyder, Charles Soule. I forget what his first name is. Damn. Kamunkoli. Either way. Yeah. So this is so far it's been good. I got the Greg Capullo variant. It was tough. Both covers were quite nice. It's been tough with this series. It's good. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It just I don't know. For me, it hasn't left too much to the imagination. It's quite wordy. Obviously there is you can imagine what it is that's happening in this world and this America that this group is discovering. And if you don't know what's happening, basically this group from so the U.S. Basically shut down 30 years ago, and you do start getting bits and pieces of why that happened. They start listing out this timeline, and it shut down, and now it's letting people back in, or that's the message that a group of people got anyway. And they're trying to get vaccines for this airborne disease that's affecting the outside world. And so they go to the U.S. and it turns out it was again, I don't want to give too much away, but there's a lot going on in the U.S. It's a whole new country, and yeah, these people are just discovering it basically as they go along, and you get really cool you get some more details from Scott and Charles. Um, you get some again the map of the place, and you get some bonus content in the back, which is always nice, and of course just ads for other image titles. But so far so good. They've been again. There's a lot of content in the issue. You get a lot out of it, and so far the story's it's been intriguing me enough for me to keep picking up the book. Um, you know, I don't read too much. I try to read as much image as I can, and in terms of collecting it, you're always taking a risk with these creator-owned books. But I think with the show on the way and all that stuff, I think Undiscovered Country will hopefully keep going. My one concern is that with the show, those guys will get busy with the show and just sort of transition from the comic will stop and they'll just keep doing the show. We'll see. And last but not least is The Question, The Deaths of Vic Sage, issue number 2. I went with the variant for this one. The regular cover is great. It's just sort of a different version of the book 1 cover. So, written by Jeff Lemire, artwork by Dennis Cohen and Bill Sienkiewicz, who both have done The Question in the past. Yeah, I'm really digging the DC Black Label stuff. And The Question actually, the first issue ended off on quite a bang, in my opinion, that had me excited for the next issue. Real trippy stuff. Jeff Lemire really having fun with the character. So I'm really, really looking forward to this one. The artwork is hit or miss for me at times. I appreciate the classic look of Dennis Cohen's artwork, and of course he's a very well-known Question artist. But at times it can just be it's a bit too gritty for me, I'll say. But yeah, very, very excited for this. This has been fun. One more issue after this. It's coming out every other month, it seems like. So we'll see the last issue likely in, I believe I don't even think it's March. It might be April. But very excited with that. Show you guys the spine there. They do come with little spines since they are pretty thick books. But yeah, that's it for me this month. Got well, not this month, the past 2 weeks. So got a nice little pile here. We got some other exciting books coming out this month, like Birds of Prey from DC Black Label, and you got Green Lantern Black Stars wrapping up. So should be a lot of fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let me know what you guys think of these series. If you're reading any of these series, let me know what your pull list is, what you picked up this week. I'm always always excited to hear about that. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. You know, all these books I'm sure we'll see in custom bound hardcovers someday, years from now. It should be very fun. It's the long game, the long and patient game, but the fun one. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. This was Mike from the Hardcover Comic. You stay classy, Internet.